Hi, and welcome to So Spicy Tea Talk. On today's episode 2, we will be learning two-toned eyeshadow. First things first, we are going to tweeze any unwanted hairs, and we're using the tape method, so we're going to follow the lower lash line. Then we are going to prime the lid. We are going to carve out our brows as well. You can choose what palette you would like to use. I am using the P. Louise AM/PM No Risk, No Magic. The two-toned effect is the application of two shades from the same color family. The darkest color is applied horizontally to the eyelid and slightly above the crease. I am using the Morphe M503 brush. This is what I use to pack on eyeshadow. I like to start at the outer corner and work my way in. You're going to be using a packing motion the whole way across the lid and as you blend up. As you can see, I am starting to form the shape. I'm packing the most product I can where the crease is, and then we are going to be packing a little bit less as we go up. Not adding any more to the brush as you move up. You just want to make sure that you're getting the exact shape that you want on both sides using that darker shade, and you're going to be wanting going back using a sweeping motion across to blend that line of demarcation that you've just created using that darker shade. Any spots that you see that you need to add any darker eyeshadow, add it now, because it's going to be a little bit harder to blend it as you go. At this point, you want to make sure you're not adding any more to your brush, and you're going to be using that packing motion back and forth, back and forth. Then you're going to use the same brush. You're going to go in with your lighter shade, applying that directly onto the darker shade, right where these colors are going to meet. You want to be packing on the most amount of that color right where they meet. You're going to be using this lighter shade to go all the way up into the brow. So don't worry if it gets up further than right where they meet, because you're going to use that to blend the shadow completely out. Using that packing motion, going back and forth, keep doing that the whole way up into the brow as the color gets lighter and lighter. Then we're going to go in with a blending brush. We're using the Morphe M504. Put a little bit of that lighter color on there, and then we are going to be doing circle motions back and forth, and then we are going to be blending. As you get higher to the brow, you're going to want to apply a little bit less pressure, holding your brush a little bit more towards the end than you are towards the top. Once you feel like you've gotten that product on there pretty good, we're going to be going back in with our Morphe M503 to be packing that color onto the lid. I also go back in with my ring finger and apply that on there just to make sure that there's no spots that aren't blended. Going back in with my M504 to blend her out. Just wait. Trust the process. Going back and forth. That is what you're doing. Be patient with yourself as you are learning. Once you feel like you've gotten that color on there really good, this is where the fun part begins. This is where you're going to be blending to meeting those two colors. I am taking the M503, putting that in my darkest shade once, going to my lightest shade, putting that in at once, then going back to the darkest shade again, and then going to the lightest shade. You're going to create a shade in between those two colors. You're going to be using a packing technique on the line of demarcation that you have created in between those two colors. As you are blending up using the packing motion, do not add any more color to the brush. Just use what is already on the brush. If necessary, go back, do the same thing again. Once in the darker, once in the light. And you're going to be going back in with your M504 and blending, blending, blending all the way up. You are trying to get the most seamless blend you can using circle motions back and forth and the packing technique. You can use these techniques to create the most elegant eyeshadow. You're just going to blend this until you feel like you have gotten your eyeshadow exactly where you want it to. If you need to add more shadow, I highly recommend starting with your lighter shadow first and then adding your darker shadow. Or mix in between. One of the dark, one light. One tap dark, one tap light. And repeat until you have blended all the way. When blending two shades like this, you are going to want to take your time. I always say less is more. As you're blending up, it's going to make it a lot easier to go back in and add it if you need it versus to try and take it away once it's already there. You decide when you're done blending. I am very particular when it comes to my blends, so you will see me continue to blend until I like it exactly where I want. And you see, one dab, that's how you get your shade in between. I am using the P. Louise Bridal Series Wedding Wishes XL palette. I am taking the lightest shade that is in this palette and I am putting it directly underneath the brow. This is going to be the shade that is going to blend your very light shade into the brow without actually having the shade all the way in it. For this, I am using the Morphe M431 brush. This is like a very pointed brush. You can also use this for the inner corner as well. I am taking that white that I have picked and blending all the way down into that pink. Also going to be taking that white a little bit on the brush and blending the inner part. Blend, blend, blend. Keep it going till you get it exactly the way you want. And here's our final blend. What do we think? We can remove our tape and we are ready for some mascara. And if you would like, you can add some lashes, which is what I will be doing. I'm not adding anything super big, just something simple, just to elevate it just a little bit more. My secret to my eyelashes is to apply the glue to the lash and let it sit for a little while. Then I like to add a little bit of lash glue to the inner part of the eye and the outer part of the eye before I apply the eyelash. Going in with my highlighter to close the deal. A little bit of mascara on those lower lashes, don't forget. And you have created your first two-toned effect eyeshadow. Now, if you're wondering what you can do to take your makeup a little bit over the top using this technique, I'm going to show you in the last bit of this video a quick add-on you can do even after you've already added your lashes. You can add a quick shimmer on top of that just to add a little bit extra spice to your makeup look. Now you can be spicy too. Spicy life. Tune in to the next video. Thanks for watching.